You ready? Start the prayers on screen. Terrific. Great. Let me just sit over there. Wait.
Okay. Let me just Denise needs to say something to me.
What are we doing?
No,
I'm getting her phone in case Denise needs to. Ready, go?
Yeah, I'm ready. Got it. Got it.
Okay, so good morning, beloved Emmanuel.
Turn to each other and say the same thing.
Good morning, beloved Emmanuel. I am thrilled to invite you into our annual meeting today. As I say, always is a day of celebration, fellowship, and rejoicing in the business of our parish. And while we have the town hall meetings in the fall and the spring, this is the day we get the fullest opportunity to learn and celebrate the scope of how God is using you and your leadership for our common good. As I said in my announcements, the structure of the Episcopal way of governing is a representative democracy. I hope you were able to spend some time, at least to peripherally look over this magnificent annual report compiled with love and faithfulness by Margaret Gilligan. So please refer to the third page for today's agenda. On the screen, first, welcome to all of you who are joining us online. We're thrilled that you are here with us. I should be looking at that. We're thrilled that you're here with us. On the screen and on the yellow sheet of paper is our opening prayer. As we always do before we pray, center your hearts and take a deep, joyful breath. We're breathing? Good. All right, let us pray. Gracious God, gathered in your name, we come before you with grateful hearts. Your joyful spirit is already here with us, and yet we ask for a special measure of your grace to fill this place and rest upon this meeting. Pour out your blessing, joy, and peace upon us. Renew our spirits, O God, and revive our passion for your will for us in this parish. With humble thanks, we are ready to receive a fresh touch from you, Almighty Creator, friend, and sustainer. Amen. Last year, we introduced this call and response that some of you might remember. It's from Psalm 126, and it so moved me that every Saturday, my emails to you begin with this, Psalm 126, verse 4. So if you recall, the verse is, the Lord has done great things for us, and you said, and we are glad indeed. So let's do that, even you at home. The Lord has done great things for us.
And we are glad indeed.
Yes, we are glad indeed. Before we officially convene, it is said that when one sings, one prays twice. So we now have the maestro at the piano. We will sing the first verse of We All Are One in Mission. Note how the words describe you, who we are as Emmanuel.
Sing all the great commission compels us from above. To land and work together. Kingdom Christ's love.
Pauline Moran, clerk extraordinary. Do we have a quorum?
Yes, we do.
How many members are in attendance in person? We'll do that later. We do that later. So having a quorum, I call to order the 145th annual meeting of Emmanuel Episcopal Church at 12:55 a.m. 11:55. Wait, sorry, Mickey's wrong. So, for the clerk's report. I hope you've had a little time to review the minutes of last year's annual meeting. It's found on page 62. May I have a motion to accept the minutes from the 144th annual meeting of Emmanuel Episcopal Church held on January 21st, 2024?
Yes.
So moved. Very Wilkins and Chief Cook. May I have a second? Any conversation, discussion? Hearing none. All in favor? Say aye. Any opposed? And you online know to vote through chat or to Lisa, right? Yeah, great. Kim. All right. How many hats can you? Person? Gratefully, I ask our co-chairs, Deborah Plummer and Nicole Russo, to present the Stewardship Committee report.
I know you have to.
Okay. Nicole, thank you very much. We made, she made it very clear to me yesterday that since she wrote the annual report, I had to present it. So thank you very much, Co-Chair Nicole, for writing a wonderful report. I encourage you all to read it. It's not just numbers. She's put some very inspirational things in there about stewardship in general and about our dream board that we all participated in through the stewardship season. So having said that, let's get to the numbers. We actually had a very successful stewardship campaign this year. Our goal was $184,000 to be specific, $664.95. And that was based on last year's gifts, plus 3% in general rate of inflation. As you can see on the board, we exceeded that. Total pledges received to date are $187,614. So thank you very much for all your gifts. A couple of numbers worth noting. The $187,614 encompasses 64 total pledges, of which 7 are actually new pledges for Emmanuel Wakefield. So welcome the 7 of you who are new. And the pledges renewed to date, comparing last year to this year, those who actually pledged last year and this year, actually also went up by about 4.9%. So again, thank you very much. If you notice, I said our goal was based on a 3% inflation rate. Those of you who renewed pledges actually exceeded that at 4.9%. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Any questions about stewardship? Yes, Eddie.
I'm actually new here. When you say pledges, is that what you give in the service?
We actually, you can give during the service. You can give anytime.
Right.
But we actually do a stewardship drive in the fall where we ask you to pledge or basically predict or commit, thank you, to commit what you think your annual contribution would be. And the reason we do this is it helps our budget and finance committees actually plan because they'll know kind of what to expect throughout the year.
So you debit from my bank account each year.
Not necessarily. If you're interested in doing that and you haven't done it, see me after this meeting and we'll get it straightened out, all right?
I think you're joking.
No.
All right.
Any other questions? All right, thank you.
A huge thank you to Nicole and Deborah for their creative leadership. Brian. So may I have a motion to accept the stewardship committee report? Second, everyone? Any conversation? All in favor? Any opposed? Motion is passed. Wonderful. So the budget committee report, it is with humble gratitude, very humble gratitude, that I turn us now to Amy Forsythe, our treasurer, to present the report from the budget committee and then the treasurer's report. This report has already been voted on and approved by your vestry. So we're grateful for the months-long process of hard work it took to get to this document.
Thank you. So first, I want to say thank you to everyone on Finance Committee who puts in so much of their time to help. I couldn't do this job without everyone's support and expertise. So we'll touch first on the Budget Committee report. So this is something that we start every fall, generally in October, and with the goal of ultimately having the vestry vote on the budget at the last meeting of the year in December. And we followed much the same process this year that we have in previous years. A couple of highlights just to show you. We budgeted for gifts and offerings of $193,000. So that is a little bit higher than the budgets that ultimately came in. When we do this budget, we are working with somewhat incomplete pledge numbers because stewardship, it often takes some time to get those final pledges in. We also look at where we are year to date to try to forecast out what we think the ultimate number will be, and that helps us in our budgeting as well. So we arrived at that 193,000 number. We do also include a draw from our endowment, so that'll be coming from our account that we have with DHK Financial. We also receive income from Canterbury that's based on their enrollment. It will start this year at 8%, and then at the end of the year, it's actually going to grow to 10%. So we renegotiated that percentage with them this year. We also increased rents at the rental properties with the exception of 4 Pearl. Those tenants are new, and so we made the decision not to increase their rent in the first year of their tenancy with us. And then the other thing under income is fundraising. So, as we've all seen, there's been a lot more fundraising activity this past year. And so that allowed us to increase that budget to give them a little higher bogey to hit this coming year. On the expense side, we did increase staff salaries by 3% across the board. We were And another round of applause, we were also able to increase Lisa's hours to 30 hours a week. It's still a fraction of what she's I think the only other thing I would note on the expenses is we did add number 8. There were 3 new budget line items added. One of the things that I did this year was reach out to all of the committee heads because I knew that a lot of committees were reforming, they were revitalizing, and I wanted to be sure that we were picking up everything we should. So we did add, at Brett's request, a budget for formation. So that'll be things like the soul suppers. We added a line item for the technology committee for any new items or upgrades that they want. And then we added a small budget for the vestry, and a lot of that will cover our retreat. That's something that we've not had in the past. So that really shows you the overall budget. This did forecast a small deficit of around $2,700. But I feel confident that we will make that up in fundraising.
Has everybody bought a sweatshirt yet?
So happy to take any questions on the budget.
People are stunned by your goodness. Thank you. Are there any questions for Amy on the budget? Before we move to the next report, which is also Amy, I think it's an appropriate time to thank God with our call and response. The Lord has done great things for us.
And we are glad indeed.
Are you really?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do that again. The Lord has done great things for us.
And we are glad.
Thank you, thank you. Now, Amy, it's your treasurer's report.
One quick note, I did not say, so on page 17, we did have an incorrect chart in the annual report. So you should all have a loose leaf that is the actual chart that, or table that should have been on page 17. So moving on to finance and the treasurer's report. So the finance committee has continued its good works this year. We meet monthly with Brett and the wardens to talk about anything and everything financial within the parish. We did lay out the objectives that the finance committee works towards. These have not changed. They were in here last year as well. And I did list at the bottom of page 18 some of the things the finance committee did this year. So we worked again with the procure report and the audit. So that's something that we do every year. We helped to oversee a lot of the capital improvements that were happening at the church this year. We've been looking at our financial policies and controls and working through an update on those. We continue to work on our endowment with DHK Financial. We meet with them a couple of times a year. Our representative actually attends our finance committee Zoom and gives us an update. And then we created the budget that we just reviewed. I do want to recognize, as I said, I couldn't do this without everyone behind me. We do have a couple of newer members this year. So Neil Adams had actually stepped down as the head of the FinCom, and he rejoined as a regular voting member. And then Daryl Abbey as well also joined the committee. He has a lot of experience with insurance, and so I know he's going to be a great addition to the committee. So just touching on a couple of other things, our endowment, we talked a lot at last year's meeting about our engagement of DHK Financial. That was completed in January. The endowment was fully invested. We had made that transfer from Vanguard. So happy to report that due to the strong market returns, we actually have this year a return of 11.58%. So we've really been able to take advantage. One of the things that we did with DHK was we upped the amount invested in stocks. This was a great year to do that. And so we really benefited from those high returns.
Great.
I'll just, yes. Just hitting a few things on the financial statements. Overall, we had a total net profit of $169,276. That came from a number of different areas. We saw higher gifts and offerings come in, so that certainly helped the budget this year. We had good income of about $77,000 from Canterbury. We had real estate net draw come in at $64,000, so all of that helped have the church operations area to have an increase of about $16,000. The endowment has seen positive growth of $110,000. That includes not only market appreciation, but gifts received. And then the investments, we have also seen some good net income coming out of some of our DIT investments as well. And then real estate was basically flat for the year. We did have a vacancy at 4 Pearl for part of the year. And that drew down some of our reserves. We've been replenishing those, and we will continue to replenish those as we go throughout 2025. That's part of the budget that we have. And I think that's all that I have.
Okay.
Wow. So may I have a motion to approve the treasurer's report?
Yes.
So moved. Great. And a second?
Second.
Ms. Milner, you got that? Great. Give me the second one more time. Okay, there we go. Great, all right. Any further questions? Any dialogue? Hearing none. All in favor? Any opposed? Terrific. Before we move on, I want to thank Amy, and alongside her, I'd like you to stand when you hear your name. These are the Finance Committee for managing our financial resources so faithfully and diligently. Amy Forsythe, Daryl Abbey, you're there, Daryl. Neil Adams, Kim Collins, Doug DiNatale, Faith Hodgkin, Paul, Christina, and Andrea Sullivan. Alongside our financial secretary, Mary Nestor. Now, please applaud for them. Thank you so much. So this document is incredibly beautiful to look at, isn't it? Thanks to Margaret Gilligan. And the content of it is because of you. So I want to acknowledge anyone who contributed to the thorough content of our report. If you are a committee chair, would you please stand? All right, take a look around, my friend. Wow. Thank you to the committee chairs for faithfully leading us. I'll applaud for them. So rather than vote to accept every report one at a time and maybe get home in time for dinner, what we do at this parish is it's our tradition to accept them all at once. So may I have a motion to approve the annual reports by title as written? Gary, great. And a second? Any dialogue? All in favor? Opposed? The motion is passed. Again, our communal thanks to each of them, and especially to Margaret. Now let's applaud Margaret. Thank you, Margaret. The Lord has done great things for us. Yes, we are. Please turn to page 66 in your annual report. And while you're finding that page, my thanks to the nominating committee for their prayerful, imaginative work to come forth with this exceptional slate. Maureen Polnick and Keith Santarelli joined Kim Collins and Gail Matthews-DiNapoli and me to form this committee. In the future, we will be asking our outgoing vestry members to be part of the next year's nominating committee. So please take a moment to look at the list on the right-hand side at the bottom of the page of those who are offering themselves to God and to serving you for the flourishing of our parish. Now please stand as I say your name. Beth Martin as co-warden, Amy Forsythe as treasurer, Amy Walsh as clerk, and new vestry members Laurel Martino and Jeff Melville. Laurel is on the screen. You can't see her, but she is here at home. Wonderful. Our diocesan convention delegates are Dawn Jackson. That's you. Andrea Sullivan. That's you. And Faith Hodgkin. Our Mystic Valley Deanery representatives are Jan Lynn Murphy, who could not be with us today. Faith Hodgkins, a diocesan council representative. Thank you for that. And Sarah Gordon. Wonderful. Friends, look around. Memorize. And now, if you are on the current vestry, would you please stand? Wonderful. Friends, look around and memorize the faces of your leaders. I have two requests. Please pray for these people. I hope you pray often for our parish. Second, whenever you have anything on your heart, go to these people with kindness and support and affection and appreciation. Help them to help you because they help me to help you. You may be seated. So how this works for us is that I'll ask for a motion to cast a single ballot to elect the whole slate of nominees as presented. And after the motion and second, we have time for any conversation and questions. So may I have a motion for the clerk to cast a single ballot to elect the slate of nominees presented?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Thanks. Oh, that's great. Here's your chance for any dialogue. All in favor? Oh, actually, I have a note here. For this vote, we need an exact number. So, raise your hand if you're an aye. And Pete, would you count that side? And Ally, will you count this side for us, please? This may take a little while, but we have to have everybody. So. Little song and dance? Sure. Moon River.
Is karaoke.
It is a karaoke. What's that?
19.
19 and
24.
not including 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 19, 24, 5. You did include 13. Not including the three of us. 19, 24, and 3. So that equals. Excellent. Oh, and the online?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
6.
Plus 6. Great. Okay. Any opposed? Feel free to raise your hand. Excellent. The motion is passed. Please welcome your new wardens, vestry, diocesan convention delegates, and committee representatives. Okay. The Lord has done great things for us.
And we are
glad indeed. Now we come to a part that I have been anticipating ever since the executive committee began planning for today. In these next few moments, I'm overjoyed to pay special recognition to 2 parish members who exemplify what it means to be Christ's hands and feet and voice. Both of them are known to every one of you, and I want to be clear that I could raise so many people this year, but it's hard to choose 2. What did Jesus do when he was on the earth? He walked a lot. He fed people, was a healing teacher and leader, was a carpenter, and easily led volunteers whom he called disciples. Do you have any guess? Well, of course you do. Just over 15 years ago, he joined Emmanuel with his exceptional wife, and almost immediately joined the Bread of Life team. And since then, he has served in every capacity, from acolyte to warden, perhaps only missing out on singing in the choir. During my first 7 weeks, he was my go-to teacher about this beautiful campus. Do you have him yet? He walks the lake every day. Tim Green. Yes, Tim Green walks the path of Jesus. He serves, he cares, he teaches, he leads, and he feeds. Many of us share his passion for this place. In his spotlight interview, he wrote, quote, "Whenever I drive past the church, especially at night with the amazing improvements to the lighting of the grounds, and I no longer see a crumbling chimney, I see a restored cupola. A freshly painted church instead of peeling paint, a solid foundation instead of one with cracks and holes, beautiful stairs at the entrance of the church, and beautiful flowers," he writes, "I simply get a happy, warm feeling inside." He is the first to credit others for his success. One of the qualities I want to mimic in Tim is his humility. He wrote, "The successes I've had were mostly due to being smart enough to listen to the input of other smart, knowledgeable people." He truly has a servant's heart. Now, a little birdie, the pun, his wife, Robin, I'm sure that's never happened to her before, told me what gift to give him. She told us he loves his parish so much, yet does not have a painting up yet. So he would appreciate this special gift. So we commissioned our own Karen Keel to paint a new painting of the church for Tim. Please stand and give Tim a well-deserved round of applause. He opens it, he will bring it back and show it to him. Tim is at home, unfortunately not feeling it. All right, please be seated. Note that it was a standing ovation. Isn't that wonderful? Next. So this person will be absolutely mortified that I spotlight her. And this year, in particular,
I knew I would get emotional at this.
there's no way not to do this for me, and I will get emotional because every single day, God reminds me that my ministry is built on the support of this one person. The first time I met them was my second day. They gave me a campus tour in the sanctuary. We ended in the sanctuary, and I think we sat in the pews for almost 3 hours. It was kind of love at first sight. Many of you know her only in her current role, which she's been in since 2020. And yet she came to Emmanuel in 1997. Do the math. She's profoundly faithful to God. Within a short time, she joined the Bread of Life team, like Tim. So for all of you that are new in that last year, you see the pattern? You come, you join the Bread of Life team. Within a decade, she was directress of the Altar Guild, our front line and yet behind the scenes ministry. She's served on the Altar Guild ever since, often as our leader. Do you know who I'm talking about yet? Lisa Ventura. I'm going to be in so much trouble. She is the heartbeat of the parish. And Jesus told his disciples that he was giving them a new commandment. It was simple, to love one another. I do not know anyone who loves the way she does. And she loves with this kind of Teflon, gracious humility. Reverend Matthew hired Lisa as our parish administrator, and by the time of the pandemic, many of the ministries had already been funneled through her. She became the hub of coordinating the ushers, acolytes, readers, and the altar flower ministry. And like Tim, I think she's done everything here except sing in the choir. Luca! She took all of her exceptional skills from the years of being at the publisher Addison Wesley and brought them to us. It's far more than creating bulletins from which we worship. Her expertise informs every part of our lives as a parish family. She's my trusted liturgical conversationalist. And she's so organized, and any of you who know her know this, that she often tells me what I should be doing in a given work. Oh, did you know it's the presentation of the largest?
I did.
He covers so many of my flaws and makes our parish shimmer to those who don't know us. She is Christ-like indeed. And she knows and loves you more than you'll ever know. She too is like Jesus. She loves and teaches, feeds and heals. She is the heartbeat of our parish.
Thank you, everyone.
Please be seated. This year, I've asked our continuing warden to recognize the outgoing officers and vestry members. Thank you, Kim.
Thank you. Today, I want to express my gratitude and appreciation for our outgoing vestry members. Lauren Berry, George Haldeman, Gail Matthews DiNatale, and Colleen Moran have given their time and energy over the past years in service of this parish as members of the leadership team. They have led alongside us with grace and vulnerability. We have rumbled together with them about the serious questions that Emmanuel has faced. We have laughed and cried together. They have provided immeasurable support and have challenged the entire vestry to be better. As Gail led us in prayer at our final vestry meeting on Thursday, we pause to thank God for guiding the vestry through the past year of service. Being a vestry member is a commitment. Many of you who have previously been on the vestry know that already. It goes above and beyond the responsibilities each of us face in our other volunteer responsibilities at Emmanuel. As officers, Gail and Colleen have also faced the challenges of keeping the vestry and the rector on track with the work that we must do. They have done this well. For this, I am grateful. I want to especially thank my colleague Gail, who served as co-warden with me this past year. We have learned and rumbled together, and it's been my honor to do this job with you. Best wishes to all of you for your lives after the vestry and for your newly found free time. We have some flowers for you. There are other gifts as well, but those are not here presently and will be arriving within the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, great.
Thanks so much.
There are other gifts that are coming. I'm sorry they're not here today, but they will be in your hands within the next week. Before I move forward, I do want to say that one of my mentors said to me, Brett, the role of the warden is to keep the rector on track. Is not just, you put it so nicely, track, but actually to support the rector, to be the person that says, I see you in this way, and I see what you're doing here. Where can I help? And Gail did that exclusively. She was constantly there for me as an advisor, in a gentle and clear and very authentic way. Always told me the truth, and I'm very grateful to God for you. Thank you. So there's one more. Oh, let's do it. The Lord has done great things for us. We are glad indeed. We have one more short section to our meeting, and I promise we will be then sent forth into the world. Before we adjourn the annual meeting's rector's remarks.
Did I just do? Did I turn? I think it died.
Oh, battery's out. Sorry.
Well, that's one way to get the rector to be quiet. Divine, exactly, yeah. All right, so listen up. The annual meeting's rector's remarks are an opportunity to answer one question. What does the rector see? So truly, friends, I have the privilege as your rector to have a lens of the whole landscape of our parish. It's one of the great privileges of being your rector. I see how God transforms lives and situations for the Basileia that may never be shared with others. I have the indescribable delight of bringing the eternal, the presence of eternity, into every corner of our parish. I am humbled and grateful to be Liam's priest. I want to draw your attention to my report at the beginning of this document. Please take the time to read it at your leisure, not now. From this past year, I only want to highlight 3 things and then tell you of 3 things I see for the future. First, try again.
Try again. Okay, you can hear the 3 and 3. The first is Luca. After searching for months, God sent us our new organist and music director. God did that work. We are already reaping the benefits of his talent and even more, his heart for parish music ministry, which is a unique quality in a musician of his caliber. I am eager to see where we will grow together in the coming year. All of you, please make getting to know Luca a priority. 2, our new... Welcome, Luca. Our new vision statement. Not only do I love that the statement says about us, I treasure how it came into being. Under the expert guidance of our newest vestry member, Laurel Martino, our vestry did a year's worth of wise, playful discernment in just 4 months. This statement has already helped our vestry and other leadership to make hard decisions when faced with how to spend our resources, both in personnel and finance. Emmanuel embodies Christ's light in service to all. Here, through God's love and grace, all are accepted. Purpose is found, and together we flourish. And number 3, I love every time we gather. We worship God by being together, no matter how it is, whether we're out cleaning in the parish cleanup or here we are today. Our new ministry of the Soul Suppers is just getting off the ground. Let's continue to dream how else we can accept God's feeding us through how we feed each other by being together. Now, looking to this coming year, I'm pleased and privileged to let you know of 3 graces to look forward to. Today, I'm overjoyed to officially announce that beginning in the fall, Emmanuel will have a seminarian intern. Some of you met Karen, who was here on November, I'm holding the picture up if she looks familiar. She was here on November 10th of last year. She's a postulant for Holy Orders of the priesthood in the Diocese of Massachusetts. She will soon be a candidate. She's the summer chaplain at the Barbara C. Harris Camp and Conference Center. And she is currently the finance director and has been for quite a while at Christ Church in Andover. This is an unpaid internship. God is generous with us, friends, to bring Karen to us. God willing, while she's here, she will be made a candidate, and then she will be ordained as a deacon while she is here. I'm excited to see how she changes me, transforms us, even as we surround and support her growth into becoming the priest that God desires her to be. One of her comments after being here November 10th was how she thought she would be changed by being with you. That's pretty cool. So that's one really super thing. Do you remember when the pandemic first hit? No, it was years ago. We all scrambled to find ways to take care of each other. Our number 1 priority was caring and loving each other and ourselves safely, often at a time when no one really knew what was best. So today, I believe that we're in a similar time of need. There are people in our parish and in our community who need us to step up to help, even if we are completely unsure of the right step. So I've asked our Mission and Outreach Committee to accept a new subcommittee. Just as we have our food ministries under Mission and Outreach, I'd like us to explore an immigration compassion ministry. Already we have a few folks who have joined me in diving into webinars and information sessions geared to churches and schools. This is a nascent attempt. It's in its infancy. And it's imperative for us to be prepared here for our Emmanuel family, including and especially for our Canterbury mission. If you are interested in helping with this work, please see me or Denise Mellon. And 3. As you know, I believe my role as your priest is to help each of you to discern your unique gifts and how God is calling you to specific ministries, which is why that amazing book study during Advent wasn't me, right? It was Faith and Julie. I'm profoundly moved by 2 women who have joined our family in the last year and saw us. Saw the grief that many of us were experiencing in various losses, chief among them the death of our precious leader and friend. So these 2 women, they researched and created a multi-week grief support program that they will launch in March for our parish. Laurel Martino, our newest vestry member, and Allison Shaw are exceptionally qualified for this task. There will be information about the program available soon. We're hoping to start on March 14th For today, I want you to take note that this is a coming program and begin thoughtfully discerning if it's something God is offering for you in your grief journey. And as we're speaking of grief, today's an important day for us in another way. This coming Wednesday, February 5th, is the first anniversary of the death of Mike Salvatore. It has been an excruciating year for many of us. I can report that we miss him every day. So as you can see from the back page of the annual report, please turn to that. The annual report is lovingly dedicated to Mike. And before we conclude our meeting, we will take the next 2 minutes to listen to a recording Mike made during the pandemic. And while it's playing, I ask you to hold Mike, Amy, and Helen, and all those who loved him. And every memory that the Spirit gives to you of him. Take it in your heart in prayerful gratitude to God for this extraordinary man. I am pleased to announce here today that Emmanuel will be hosting a concert in Mike's honor in May. Amy Salvatore has agreed that this is a way we can remember our dear brother, our leader, and our friend. So now one more time, take a deep breath. I invite you once again to proclaim our truth. The Lord has done great things for us. Before we sing our final prayer, may I have a motion to adjourn with joy? All in favor? Any opposed? Excellent. Turning to your sheet, the yellow sheet. Let us sing the fourth verse. This is our final prayer. Why don't you stand to sing heartily? Remember, to sing is to pray twice.
see you now. I will also be heard. No, let us be heard. No.
Go in peace. Hey, you go. Thanks be to God. Hallelujah. Well, one more thing though, after we change the bank account. Pardon? After we change the bank account. Yes.
Everything.
Thank you. Yes, you're welcome. Yeah, yeah, yeah.